Officials say there's now more water in Tulare Lake than in some of the state's reservoirs.
The waters of Lake Tulare rise relentlessly, surging beyond its banks and spilling into the surrounding land. As the floodwaters engulf everything in their path, a tale of awe and devastation unfolds. How did this once dry lake become a vast expanse of water? What consequences will this flood have on the local ecosystem and communities? Should we have concerns? Join us as we dive into the captivating story of how Lake Tulare filled up and the extraordinary events that reshaped its landscape. Once a vibrant oasis teeming with life, this spectacular lakewater has a history that spans centuries. Long before the arrival of European settlers, Native American tribes cherished this sacred resource, relying on its abundant waters. Despite its usual dry state, Tulare Lake comes alive sporadically during floods triggered by extraordinary rainfall or snowmelt. In 1969, 1983, 1997, and most recently 2023, the waters of this phantom lake resurfaced, defying expectations. Notably, it took a staggering 2 years for the lake to evaporate after the 1983 Renaissance. Before we go into the details of this lake, it would be good to know about phantom lakes. Phantom lakes, characterized by their cyclical nature, materialize during periods of intense precipitation. However, unlike their deeper counterparts, these lakes tend to be shallow. Take, for example, Tulare Lake, estimated to be around 37 feet deep, before water diversion altered its course. The shallow nature of these lakes plays a significant role in their rapid drying process. With a larger surface area in proportion to their volume, the sun's heat penetrates the water more efficiently, causing accelerated evaporation. The California Central Valley, renowned for its scorching, arid climate, provides an ideal backdrop for the emergence of phantom lakes. But let's delve deeper into the hydrological chronicles of two notable examples, Tulare Lake and Owens Lake. Owens Lake, located approximately 220 miles north of Los Angeles, is a compelling case study. The construction of Los Angeles's aqueduct in 1913 diverted the freshwater tributary that once nourished Owens Lake, depleting its vitality. However, recent times have witnessed an astonishing resurgence. After a staggering 110 years, Owens Lake is experiencing a rapid refilling process, defying expectations and piquing the curiosity of many. Turning our attention back to Tulare Lake, we uncover a similar narrative. At its peak, this grandeur covered 600 square miles with an average depth of 20 to 30 feet. Yes, you heard that right. A colossal expanse of water that would make any lake lover's heart skip a beat. But let's rewind the clock, going back to 600,000 years ago. According to the remarkable findings at Lemore's Sarah Mooney Museum, the origins of Tulare Lake trace back to this ancient era. The region, shaped over millions of years, nurtured an intricate web of wetland habitats, a true wonder unique to our world. With its sprawling wetlands, the Tulare Basin lured countless resident and migratory waterbirds, creating an avian spectacle of awe and wonder. Picture this: graceful grebes, majestic pelicans, elegant herons, and charming ducks all flocking to these vibrant waters. The skies were painted with the wings of ibises, geese, and sandhill cranes, while the shores bustled with plovers, stilts, and avocettes. It was a paradise where nature's symphony unfolded. Sadly, the tides turned against our beloved lake in the mid-1800s. As European settlers arrived, their thirst for irrigation led to the construction of canals and diversion structures. These modifications, intended to nourish their crops, unwittingly began severing Tulare Lake from its life-giving waters, gradually shrinking its once mighty footprint. In a mere 50 years, by 1899, the unthinkable occurred. The mighty Tulare Lake ran dry, leaving a haunting emptiness in its wake. Driven by the desire for fertile farmland, settlers claimed the newfound land that emerged. They reshaped the landscape, constructing levees and redirecting natural waterways, all in the pursuit of controlling water flow and mitigating flooding. And thus, the metamorphosis of the lake bed commenced, forever altering the course of Tulare Lake. But let's not forget the indelible imprint of the Native Americans who called the Tulare Lake Basin home. The Yokut tribe, the area's first inhabitants, cherished the land for its abundant wildlife and plant resources. With their resource management practices and deep-rooted cultural values, the Yokuts shaped the basin to sustain their communities, leaving an enduring legacy etched upon the landscape. As American settlers arrived armed with their Fresno scrapers, a remarkable farm implement, the transformation of California's landscape began. These ingenious irrigation systems transformed the Sierra snowmelt into a tapestry of fertile fields, fueling agricultural abundance. Yet this progress came at a great cost. Marshlands vanished, deserts bloomed, and the once mighty Tulare Lake faded into oblivion, replaced by sprawling farmlands. Over time, as irrigation water was diverted for crops, the lake's size diminished. The Tulare River and Kings River faced multiple taps, with the precious water that once nourished Tulare Lake now spreading across parched pastures and cotton fields. By 1878, the lake's overflow into the San Joaquin River ceased entirely, leaving the once vast body of water high and dry. Tulare Lake was a magnificent expanse where sailboats gracefully skimmed its surface, and a thriving population thrived along its shores. The boundaries blurred, merging water and land, while dense tule reeds adorned the banks. Wading several miles without the water reaching your head was a testament to its sheer size. However, a boat could only enter the lake through the creeks and rivers, their steep banks creating a deep channel far from the shoreline. Despite sporadic moments when water from the Kings River mingled with the San Joaquin River, Tulare Lake never fully reclaimed its former glory. It remained a mere glimpse of its past, a tantalizing reminder of what it once was. Occasionally, during extreme runoff events, the lake experienced a temporary resurgence, teasing us with a taste of its former majesty. Let's leave history and focus on the current events of Lake Tulare. In a jaw-dropping turn of events, Lake Tulare, once a forgotten expanse of dry land, has risen from the depths of history to reclaim its throne as a majestic sea. Picture this. Fierce storms unleash their fury, transforming a vast 30-square-mile plain into a surging water wonderland in the blink of an eye. It's a sight that will captivate your imagination and leave you in awe. The southern Sierra Nevada boasts a record-breaking snowpack, poised to push the limits of our water management systems to their breaking point. The weight of this impending deluge is so immense that experts predict it could fill Tulare Lake 2 or 3 times over, dwarfing the capacity of our main reservoirs. Will our defenses crumble under relentless pressure, destroying crops and rural towns? Only time will tell. But as nature triumphs in its breathtaking comeback, the people of Kings County find themselves caught in a slow-motion nightmare. Farmers and residents face an unprecedented battle against the raging waters threatening their livelihoods. And this revival of Lake Tulare has become an epic showdown between nature and mankind, where the stakes are nothing short of colossal. As the floodwaters surge, countless lives hang in the balance. Homes and farm structures have succumbed to the watery onslaught, and towns teeter on the brink of evacuation. Tens of thousands of dairy cows have been forced to seek higher ground, and even a local poultry business faces an unthinkable choice: relocate or bid farewell to 1 million precious chicks. California's Central Valley, known for its long-standing battle with drought, now faces a perplexing dilemma. The water surging into Lake Tulare is a precious resource, desperately needed in other parts of the state for irrigation and residential purposes. But transporting this water elsewhere proves to be a Herculean task, with no easy solutions in sight. The runoff has nowhere to go, leaving us pondering how to harness and utilize this magnificent surge of life-giving liquid. In recent news, the California Department of Water Resources reveals a snowpack 237% above average. This flood's relentless grip won't let go anytime soon. The Sierra Nevada's majestic snows will continue to melt, fueling the torrential force that breathes life into Lake. With so many dire consequences, what are the possible solutions for this flooding? It was shocking when the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers revealed that most of California's levee systems are well past their prime, averaging 60 years old. These aging structures were designed to safeguard towns, homes, businesses, and crops from the wrath of flooding rivers. But when it comes to prioritizing replacement efforts, the affluent urban areas often take center stage, leaving the small, rural, and disadvantaged communities at a disadvantage. The good news, however, is that state efforts to raise levees and the dedicated work of farmers diverting water for irrigation have significantly reduced the risk of flooding for these vulnerable communities. In fact, just a few weeks ago, Governor Gavin Newsom pledged a staggering $17 million to fortify the levees shielding Corcoran from potential devastation. However, these measures alone might not be enough to quell the fury of Mother Nature. That's where innovative strategies step in, promising to revolutionize our approach to flood management. One such solution is restoring floodplains, which act as natural sponges, absorbing excess water and easing the strain on levee systems. By allowing rivers to meander and expand onto their historical floodplains, we create a harmonious balance between man and nature, mitigating the risk of catastrophic floods and protecting our cherished communities. But that's not all. Land use changes play a pivotal role in reshaping the flood-prone landscape. By strategically altering how we utilize our land, we can minimize the impact of floods and safeguard vulnerable areas. This might involve relocating infrastructure away from flood-prone zones, implementing better drainage systems, and adopting sustainable agricultural practices that promote water retention and prevent soil erosion. The California Department of Water Resources is already hard at work, diverting excess water before it flows into the expansive lake bed. With floodwaters potentially lingering for up to 2 years, every drop diverted counts, safeguarding the environment and the livelihoods of those who call this region home. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to Beyond Discovery. See you in the next one.